Hi guys! Welcome to Teddy Unscripted. I'm super excited because I have a background today. I finally redid my room enough where you don't have to see my messy, weird walls. You get to see a beautiful background, and I'm really excited about that. I feel like a professional person. I would like to give a very happy congratulations. Well, it already happened, but congratulations. It's about to be on TV for Bindi Irwin. She is Steve Irwin's daughter. Steve Irwin, crocodile hunter, all that. She is his older child. There's Robert Irwin and there's Bindi Irwin. Bindi got married last month, and tomorrow on Animal Planet, they are going to air the big wedding celebration. They're going to talk about what the cake looked like, all this inside information that no one's gotten to see. I believe they got married at the Australia Zoo. I don't know much about it. They haven't given away any information other than it happened, a few pictures here and there. She looks absolutely gorgeous. Her brother Robert walked her down the aisle. I am so excited to see it because I am a huge fan of the Irwins. I know their mother, obviously. Terry Irwin was there. They have been talking about it on Twitter for months and months since she got engaged. So a huge congratulations to Bindi Irwin. It was, from the pictures that they have posted, absolutely beautiful, and thankfully happened right before the quarantine. So that was super cool. Be sure to tune into that tomorrow at, I believe it's 8 Eastern time on Animal Planet. And I definitely want to talk about that next week because it, for me, is like the biggest thing of the century. I grew up watching Steve Irwin, and it's really cool because I know she posted pictures that her now husband also grew up watching Steve Irwin's videos. He has pictures of him as a little kid with all of the Crocodile Hunter videos. He worked as another conservationist in Australia, and now, he gets to be part of the Dream family. Along with that, it is Bat Appreciation Day, which is so exciting for me because I love bats. Bats are absolutely one of my favorite animals. They are the cutest. I don't know. I know they get a really bad reputation, especially right now. They're being blamed for a lot of things. Don't blame the animals, blame the people. Not, a nation, but blame the specific people who did this. It is not the animals' fault. But they are absolutely adorable animals. They are huge pollinators, especially right now that we're having a decrease in pollinators because of mystery we don't know yet. Bats are awesome pollinators. And I have, before I actually get into the little news and fun facts and my artist of the week, I have a few bat fun facts for today because I am obsessed with bats. Fox flying, red fox bats are my favorite, and I really wanted to talk about it because I think they're the coolest things, and I think that we should really be appreciating that right now. As terrible as our situation is, the bright side is the earth is healing a little bit. Skies are clearing, animals are coming back to where they haven't been for a very long time. Species are healing from overhunting and overfishing and all that. So, at least a little bit of positivity. I have bat facts for Bat Appreciation Day. And here we go. Also, fair warning though, before I give these, if you ever see a hurt bat, please do not touch them, do not approach them. They always say, just try and put up something so that someone doesn't hit it if it's in the road, but do not touch it. They can, if they bite you, it is a wild animal, and it is going to be scared. Do not touch it. Call an animal conservationist. There are many around here. You can just look up the number. I know people watch them all over, so I don't want to give one in case they're out of the area. Call your local animal conservationist to help them. Do not put yourself in harm's way. But my fun facts are that bats can live up to 40 years, which is incredible for mammals. Most mammals, probably, not humans, but most animals of that size, mammals only live to about 15, 20 years. They live up to 40 years, different species. They are the only mammal with sustained true flight. So things like flying squirrels, sugar gliders can only kind of glide for short periods of time. Bats have true sustained flight, which I don't know, I'm going to geek out over all these facts because I just really love bats. I just think they're the coolest. They have, even though the thing is that bats are blind, they use echolocation for everything, many species actually have super night vision. And they, of course, have super hearing for using echolocation to get to their food. But a lot of time they'll use that during the day, and most species have great vision at night. It's only the more known bats, like vampire bats, that have to use echolocation because they don't have good eyesight. There are over 1,200 known species of bats, which they're all really cute. And if you want to see a really cute video, look up bats eating bananas or bats eating grapes. That's kind of what's been getting me through these really stressful times, is watching cute bat videos. Like I said, they are pollinators and they are pest controls, natural pest control. One bat can eat over 1,000 mosquitoes in an hour, which is a blessing here in Florida because we have trillions of them. And RSPB has a fun Bat Appreciation Day craft. Now that we're in quarantine, if you do woodwork, normally I would say this is kind of a tough project, but since we've been here, we don't really have much else to do. I think it's a really cool way. All you need is some wood. If you go look up RSPB bat box, it'll bring up all the instructions for you. And these are bat boxes that you can put on the side of your house, on trees. Because of the deforestation, a lot of bats have been losing where they raise their pups because they always come back. They have a home, you know? They always come back to one place, and they've been losing their homes. So this is a nice, safe box where it's kind of like a birdhouse. They can rest there, they can eat there, they can raise their young there, and it's good for the environment. It's good helping bring bats back to get rid of the harmful animals, bugs, the mosquitoes, all that, and to pollinate around you. And it's just, I don't know, good for animals. Be nice to animals, dude. And the last reminder they had on there is that bats are friends, not food. Let's not hurt that. That's my fun bat facts for the day. I also have a report from the American Humane Society saying that the rise of fostering animals has gone up. It's kind of an animal-centric day. And you'll know why in a minute, other than just I love them. But the rate of fostering animals has exponentially skyrocketed during the quarantine with good reason. I mean, it makes sense. You want, you're home alone, you don't have any contact. Humans are very social creatures. So to not be able to have contact with anyone if you live alone or you're only with, your spouse and kids, you need some other type of contact. It makes sense to foster an animal. It's awesome because it gets the animals out of shelters so we can get more strays into the shelters, into safe areas. So if you would like to foster an animal, contact your local Humane Society, your local shelter, and get that in there. But I think it's really good that people are thinking of animals for whether it's selfish reasons of I need someone to talk to or non-selfish reasons of these animals should have a place. I now have time to foster them. And who knows, you might end up deciding that you really want that animal. But I thought that was fun. I tried to do a lot of uplifting facts today because I know a lot of people are hitting their peaks right now. They're hitting the cliff of stress of we're locked inside, we don't know what to do. So I tried to make it a little more of an uplifting day, get out there. I'm still trying to figure out my rhythm of what I want to do, how I want to announce topics. For now, I'm just going to start yelling facts at you guys for the day. Yeah, that was my fun facts of the day for Bat Appreciation Day, for Bindi Irwin for fostering animals. I wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been doing for uplifting before we get into our super awesome Artist of the Week, which is I have been listening to a lot of audiobooks, which for me is incredible. I have insane ADD, so to be able to sit down, listen to something has been, I don't know how I'm doing it. I've been doing it a lot before I go to sleep. I've been doing it a lot during meditation. I've been reading a lot of listening to a lot of meditation books. I have been listening to a lot of, I don't know how to say it. They're not self-help books, I wouldn't say, but they're memorabilia books, like autobiographies of people through their lives, how they used self-help books to help themselves. So it's just kind of fun. Like I said, it's more uplifting, like, oh, that's super awesome that this happened, that this person got out of that rut and did that. I was listening to, right now there's one called French Girls Get Fat. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's a slightly problematic, but it's really awesome. It is about, the author is a French woman born and raised in France. She did a study abroad when she was in high school to America. And while in America, because our culture is so different, she ended up, gaining a lot of weight and changing her habits to when she got back to France. She was a complete outsider. People wouldn't talk to her. She didn't feel comfortable going out in public anymore. And it's her realization of the culture in France and how it's different from America and how she got back into the French mindset. And it's really awesome seeing the realization of, oh, we do this and they don't. This is strange. Or they do this and we don't. That's super strange. So that's my book suggestion, my audiobook suggestion of the day. And now the reason that I think I'm so jittery and jumpy, because I want to talk about my artist of the week. This artist, his name is Colin Christian. He has been my favorite artist. I am so absolutely starstruck that I have permission to talk about him and his art. I messaged him on Instagram. And I mean, this man is famous. This is one of, which way is it going to be? This way. This is one of his art pieces. Wait, I have my notes on all of them because I've looked at his pieces so much. I have such crazy appreciation for him. I found out about him when I was in college. We had a project where we had to find an artist, an art piece, and while we were in a costuming class, we had to create a piece inspired by them. And as I was looking through, whatever artist I could find, I found Colin Christian. I will say, if you look him up, he does have a lot of like not safe for work art. He has a lot of 18 plus art, but he also has, I picked out the safest ones I could find because the message behind some of them is so beautiful. And then some of them he's just like, yeah, I did this because it looks cool and I like it. And for me, I feel like that is, at least in the art that I've seen, I haven't seen every artist on earth. And if you disagree with this, send me artists that you think are like this. But I haven't seen as many artists nowadays just be like, yeah, I did this because it's cool. That's it. I had fun doing it. A lot of the art nowadays either has some crazy deep meaning, which is awesome. There's nothing wrong with it. But it either has some crazy deep meaning or it's trying to have a crazy deep meaning. I don't see as much art where it's just the artist obviously had fun doing it and it was something that they liked. And they were just like, oh, this looks cool. People will think it looks cool because it gives me, at least when I see it, that, I'm sorry, my nose is so itchy. It gives you that same sense of like, wow, this is just cool to be cool. So this is his piece called Lickety Split. And this is one of the pieces that he just has. Sorry, I keep going the wrong way. He just has a big collection of lips of different ones with fangs, with piercings, with the tongue out, doing funny like lip up. And it's one of his most famous collections. It is the one that many celebrities have in their homes. It is the one that he is most known for, I think, or one of the ones he is most recognized for is his lip collection. I love this one just because of the absolute realism. He uses a lot of silicone and hard glass for his pieces mixed with resin for the painting. It is so realistic. It blows my mind. And again, I believe this is one of the pieces that was just like, hey, this looks cool. I like it. Let's do it. And it's a fun, whimsical piece. He has another one. I didn't send it in to you. Freddie's running the board. I didn't send it in, Freddie. But there's another one like this where it has a cherry in its mouth. And it's just a very obvious, like, goofy, cartoony lips look that gives you that, like, oh, this is funny feel. And then we have the next one. I don't know. Yes, okay. This is Ray Gunn, and he does write quotes. I took these off his Instagram, like I said, with his permission, that I fangirled about for about 30 minutes after he messaged me back. I did message him one other time when I first found him when I was in college. I messaged him this big thing about saying, hey, I know you're not going to answer me. He's a very famous artist. He's done works for Miley Cyrus, one of her, I believe her party tour. If you've seen it, it got a lot of news. It was her being like fake nude, and she had, I'm not going to go into it on Facebook, but if you know it, you've seen it, you know it. That's all his work. He's done pieces for Kanye West. If you've ever seen one of his tours where he had a giant anime face coming up over the stage, that is Colin Christian. So I messaged him saying, hey, you're never going to see this, but like, I love your work. And he had messaged me back, and I started bawling in the middle of my college class. So I am such a dork for his work. This one is called Raygun, and I'm looking down because I have his quotes written down. He said, I've always been obsessed with science fiction, and I've kept doing characters in this theme since I started to sculpt. And I think it is super awesome because he really exemplifies what, sorry, wrong side again, what, again, 90s, 80s, 90s science fiction, what it was. It was hypersexualized women. It was, you know, what's the fifth element is hypersexualized women along with a great storyline. And that's what he portrays in such a way that makes it, it's like a comedic way where you're like, oh, this is beautiful, and I can very obviously tell what this is. And he has a huge intergalactic series that is always just absolutely beautiful. And he has some really cool ones. I think the next one is, I'm going to pronounce this so wrong, Dominadroid. And it is just an absolutely beautiful head. It has, yes, okay, cool. It has, like, you see the spikes on it. It's just busts. He also does a lot of the bust series. He has another series, I believe, called Tryptophobia, which I did not put on here because I was trying to steer away from any stuff that Facebook might flag me for because we get in enough trouble with Facebook as it is. But this is another one of his Space Creator series. It is obviously super intergalactic. It is just human, which is another thing I really like about his work, where it's like, oh, this is humanoid, this is human-ish, but it has the exaggerated features, the slight like luminescence between the eyes, on the nose you can see the helmet looks like it's part of her head. This is just another one that I was like, this is really cool and I really like it. I want to throw it in here. And then the next one is one of, I think, the coolest things he's posted on Facebook. And yes, that is Colin Christian next to a head that he made of Cartman from South Park. And this is his quote from it. He made that for South Park's 10th birthday party in New York, and now actually hangs in the South Park creators' office, or the office where they do the animations. He didn't specify, but he said the South Park office. And again, this is the one where I was like, oh, fangirling a lot, because he literally got commissioned from South Park, from the creators of South Park, to make this insane Cartman head. I believe it's made of silicone, rubber, and hard glass, he said. This is the most style of his work that I can get, where you can see the bloodshot eyes, the face. It's not a cutesy little like, oh, Cartman face. This is Cartman. If you've ever seen South Park, this is Cartman in real life. This is angry. This is passion. This is emotion. This is gross. That's what South Park is. And again, this is one I really liked because it showed him next to his work. He doesn't always post a lot of pictures of himself. I wish he did because I love him. But yes, and then the last one I have is, I think, one of my favorites. It is called Singularity. And when it comes to, yes, there were a lot of pictures of it. I wasn't able to get the movie that he posted, but you can see the eyes and what she's holding. I'll explain in a second. They glow. He has LED lights in there that glow, and they glow simultaneously. He says it was an attempt to illustrate the birth of AI, and this is his quote from it. A robot mother holds a self-aware, conscious, technological baby which will change the world we live in. This eventual event is called the Singularity. No one is quite sure if it'll be positive or negative. I'm afraid I lean toward the latter. Any logical life form will see our behavior towards life and the planet as highly stupid and dangerous, and then her eyes and the baby glow together, signifying that it's the mother giving birth to it. This one is the one that I kind of wanted to base a lot of the show around, a lot of the animals, the planet. Colin Christian is a huge advocate for the planet, for animals. He has a piece where it has a pangolin, which is something else that is very commonly poached and hunted for very stupid reasons. It's one of the things that they believe, like crushing the scales of it is going to do something. And it's an endangered species because of this. And he's a huge proponent of, protecting the planet, protecting the animals. And I love this piece, the singularity. And like I said, it's the mother birthing the child that will one day completely change what we see. That is when the AI, comes to life. He says eventual, it will happen. Will it or won't it? I can't see the future. But with the way it's going, I do believe that at some point it will. And AI will become self-aware. And he's right. Whether it's good or bad, if they looked at our planet now and how we treat the animals and the planet, would they be upset? Most life forms would say, you're killing it. You're killing the thing that keeps you alive. And it's incredible to see something. And we have robots like this. If you've ever seen Sophia the robot, it is a humanoid android where obviously the mother isn't fully human. You can tell that it's an android. And it has become self-aware and created what's going to happen. And I don't know, this one hit home for me a lot because it does show that we're doing a lot to hurt the planet, to kill it, and something that comes into this world full of all the AI knowledge to be smart, to already be grown up and yet learn more, to be able to see what its mother sees. They glow together. Her eyes glow with the baby. To what it would think of our world and what it would think of how we treat it. And I think we still have time to change that. And again, that's why I wanted to do a lot of animals today, a lot of Bindi with conservation and animals, saving and fostering animals, and Bat Appreciation Day, which just happened to be today. So fun coincidence. I think it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And he has a lot of pieces like this that are luminescent, that glow. If you're into any science fiction, it's at Colin Christian. I will tag it once I get off here. I forgot to send Freddie the tag. I'm sorry, Freddie. But it's something really cool that, I keep saying cool. Judging myself in the middle of my show. Hello, welcome to Teddy Unscripted. But it's something really interesting that I don't see a lot of artists doing all the time. And again, there are a lot of his pieces that I can't show because I don't want to get in trouble on Facebook. There's so many of them that absolutely just dive into human, like what we see, human attraction and how we visualize things. He has a whole horror series that, if you're into anything like that, describes and goes into why you're afraid of things and how arachnophobia relates to, like, what if your worst fear came true of arachnophobia, tryptophobia, your worst fear of it. And it's such an interesting topic. He's done Kitty. He has a huge Hello Kitty piece that is not hanging, it's a life-size sculpture. I think it's actually over life-size. I think it's like 8 feet. That is in a museum in Japan that was commissioned by Hello Kitty. He is this hugely famous artist that most celebrities have works of his that you've probably never heard of, because you haven't seen it or heard of him. They just have them. He does amazing commissions. If you want to support him, he lives right here too in Tampa, Florida, or the Tampa, St. Petersburg area. He does all the work out of his house. Him and his wife do amazing, amazing work. So she is also a painter, so I can tag her down below too. I don't have any of her works typed up. She doesn't post as much on Instagram. But you can support him even if you can't get one of his big pieces. He sells little stickers and patches and keychains and all that of his work on his website, which I'll link. It's really cool to see an artist from, he's from Tampa. He lives in Tampa. He does his work right in Florida. And to see him go so big, and he's been an artist for so long, and see him selling to all these crazy celebrities and doing pieces for Kanye's tour and Miley Cyrus's tour and for Hello Kitty and South Park. it's just something that it gets the fangirl in me really like, oh my gosh, this man is amazing. And he is so I mean, he does things Shoe Porn Saturday where he posts other artists. He's so uplifting of other artists and showing off their stuff and trying to get as many tags out as he can. And for, equality, and it's just a really cool thing to see. And I really wanted to promote him as much as I can because he is a huge inspiration of mine. So thank you guys for listening to that long rant of how much I fangirl over the fact that basically he messaged me back. That was really what this whole show was. Just like, Colin Christian messaged me back, so now I'm going to promote the heck out of him because I love him. But I know I only have a few minutes left. Thank you guys for listening to me so much. I really appreciate it. I'm really trying to understand. I'm so used to being behind the camera and behind the board that being in front of it's really strange for me. So thank you guys for watching me and trying, helping me. If you have any tips, I always really appreciate them because it's a cool experiment for me. I know we did this because Freddie wants to push me out of my comfort box, and he is succeeding at it wonderfully. But if you guys have any topics, any thoughts of artists that you want to get on the show, please leave them down in the comments or share the show out to them. Email us, email me, message us on Facebook. It's right on either 2020 Vision or the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook. I would absolutely love to hear that and learn about new artists out there, because that's why I started this segment, was to learn about small social media artists who haven't made their big famous breakaway and try and get it out there. Thank you guys so much. Right after on the Brooklyn Cafe at 12 o'clock, we're going to do the Brooklyn Cafe with Don and Freddie, and I believe we have Fuego today too. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys on Monday. Please stay safe and have a really great day.